The Moon lacks meaningful amounts of carbon, hydrogen, and other elements important to life and civilization. Whereas Mars has every required element in abundance, all in easily accessible forms. Like Earth, the Moon and Mars are primarily made up of oxygen and silicon. Silicon has many important uses, from increasing the quality of steel to making transistors and solar cells, but many of these applications require carbon, and manufacturing hyper-pure silicon for use in electronic devices requires both carbon and hydrogen. Carbon is virtually non-existent on the Moon, and hydrogen only exists in very small quantities. This means lunar colonists will need to import raw materials to efficiently produce quality steel, biomass, and solar panels. On Mars, steel will be commonplace, and settlers will be able to build a self-expanding solar power network entirely from Martian materials. Another useful element is oxygen, which is needed for breathing and to make rocket propellant. Since oxygen makes up 60% of the Moon by weight, it's often thought that it will be plentiful on the Moon, but harvesting it isn't easy. Currently available methods include melting lunar regolith at temperatures greater than 1,600 degrees Celsius and running an electrical current through it. Maintaining such high temperatures is complex and, like growing plants in artificial light, energy intensive. Considering SpaceX's Starship uses almost 1,000 tons of liquid oxygen for a single launch, an easier way of acquiring oxygen on the Moon will be needed. On Mars, oxygen can readily be acquired from the CO2 atmosphere, or from water, and there's enough of both to serve a growing settlement's needs practically indefinitely. Water ice has been discovered at the lunar poles, but only in small quantities in difficult-to-access locations, so using it for oxygen would be costly. On Mars, as a global average, 14% of the surface is water ice, and pure water ice glaciers can be found not too far from the equator. Millions of times more water exists on Mars than on the Moon, so relatively simple soil baking or ice melting technologies will be able to provide ample amounts of water on Mars. Although Martian settlements would initially require imports from Earth, in the long run Mars has by far the best potential for self-sufficiency. The Moon, however, would always require imports from Earth. So what do we have to gain from supplying these imports? Thanks for watching. Here's the next part in the Moon vs. Mars series, or you can find the full-length video in the description below.